What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Akil McLeod back with another live video. Today, this is Thursday. This is the 12th live show that I'm doing so far. Things is going good. We on the up and up. I'm trying to just make sure I stay consistent as the brand is. Consistency, as you guys can see. If you guys are interested in the consistency shirts inspired by Nipsey Hussle, definitely click that first link in the description. That's where it'll take you guys straight to the website. So far, only one shirt is available, but I'm going to be dropping some new colors pretty soon. Actually, just reinvested right back into the business. All profits, like Nip said, all money right back in. So as I'm just going to wait until some more people start to chime in into the chat. But I do these live shows every Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Basically a place where you guys can just, engage, ask whatever questions that you guys may have. I try to stay on here for about an hour. I might stay on here maybe a little longer today. My wife isn't here. She's out running around right now. So I might be able to stay on here a little longer, but we will see. As long as everybody's engaged and as long as we got some solid questions, I'll stay on here as long as possible. So like I said, you guys got any questions, drop it in the live stream and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Let's see if you got some people hopping in the chat so far. Planet Space, what's going on? Will, what's up? How you feeling? Parker's in here. What's going on? Footwear House. All right. What's going on? Richard Good. What's good? Finally made it to a live show. I usually catch the upload later. Yeah, we live and direct right now. Landshark Picker. What's going on? Good evening to you as well. And yeah, like I try to do some snippets of the live show so that people can, tune into some of the highlights, some of the big clips. I'll try to continue doing that because I realize not everybody sticks around for the whole show. Some people chime in every once in a while. So I'll just try to make it, most valuable as possible for everybody. Let's see. David is in here. What's going on? Grace Mile, how you feeling? What's going on? Will you be doing more wholesale pickups? Absolutely. Wholesale is where it's at. I feel like these past few weeks, I've really been just trying to really just kind of figure out a better route. I'm always trying to like fine tune the business model, right? So for me, the majority of my business model is going to outlets, going to Ross, just a lot of retail arbitrage and just flipping it. But I'm at the stage now where, money is coming in good and I'm no longer hustling to pay the rent. So now it gives me more time to, I guess, try to plan more effectively and more efficiently, because I'll follow some other entrepreneurs, and a lot of other people say the same thing. Once you're no longer hustling just to pay the rent, you can start to think a little more clearer, and you can start to be, approach things with more foresight instead of just constantly thinking of that month-to-month mentality. So with wholesaling, I'm definitely going to take another attempt at it. I'm going to try to hone in more, especially since I'm in Arizona now, and the wholesale license out here, I believe it's called the TRT. Not testosterone replacement therapy, but I believe it's like a tax exemption form for business owners. It's a lot easier to acquire, super cheaper out here too. I think it's only like $30. So I have that license now. So I'm going to start trying to just figure out the wholesale landscape, because it's something I always was thinking to do later down the road. But now I'm trying to just spend more time working on content, but also just working on doing the business more efficiently. And a lot of people, once you start reselling, especially if you're just doing it as a side hustle or just a hobby, the dope part is to do it, just go to a thrift store, go to Ross, go to Burlington, wherever you source at, and just find the gems. Like, that's the most fun part of it. But for me, I've always approached everything I do, I try to do it to the highest degree. You know what I mean? I try to be, in that top percentage. So that's where I'm really trying to focus on, see how I can get some wholesale leads, hopefully by the content I'm putting out. People do contact me, different wholesalers, different companies do hit me up. I do think the problem with wholesale is that the margins are a lot slimmer. And that's something that, I'm going to have to take into consideration. The margins are very slim. Sometimes you can get lucky, but I know for the most part, just broadly speaking, I know the wholesale margins tend to be a lot slimmer. Sometimes finding the right wholesaler can be tough as well, because they usually would pull, like, they'll do wholesale orders themselves. So they'll pull all the good stuff and then just try to sell whatever they can't move. They'll try to sell it as a wholesale deal. So it takes a while until you find the right wholesalers. but that's definitely a part of the goal. That's something I'm really trying to get better at. I've done one wholesale deal so far with Honcho Wholesale. They usually just provide clothing, so it's like Macy's stuff that Macy's return stuff like that. And that order was pretty good. And I got a lot of mixed comments when I did that video. A lot of people were saying that a lot of these wholesalers that work with YouTubers, they send them like amazing stuff. That way they can bring in more customers. And I don't think the stuff I got was amazing. If I had to rank it from like a 1 to 10, I'd probably give it about a 7. A lot of the stuff did sell. I just sold a blazer today that's going to be in my what sold video tomorrow. And that blazer sold for about $50, $40 plus $9 shipping. And it took a while to sell. And if you guys watched that video, you guys know I kept saying a lot of these items are going to take a while to sell, especially now. A lot of men are, even if they are working still, a lot of men are working from home. So the whole picking up a blazer, picking up a suit, especially during the summer, is very slim. So it's definitely going to be tricky. It's going to take some time, and I'm going to take you guys along the journey just so you guys can see what it's really like. Because if you guys were following the channel from day one, I started out thrifting, just taking full advantage of the thrift, and I would go every single day, find as much stuff as I could find. And then I eventually moved on to retail arbitrage, where it's more brand new items. It's a lot more capital involved, which is one thing I tend to forget, because a lot of people that started watching the channel, they really love the thrift store content, and I don't do that anymore. So, I kind of lost a lot of viewership, but at the same time, the business is going to grow. The relatability factor is going to fluctuate as the business continues to grow. So it is what it is. I'm going to keep you guys updated on all of that. Like I said, once the business is growing, once I can find some solid wholesalers that I could actually keep referring to you guys. Honcho was cool. They do clothing. I'm trying to move away from clothing. So if you guys still selling clothing, I would suggest, mess with Honcho. The thing to consider is the fact that a lot of their clothes comes from Macy's. It's a lot of suits, especially the men's clothing with a lot of suits and blazers, stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. But Honcho was pretty good. Let's see. Do you ever use a list perfectly or Vendu for cross posting? Cross posting, I don't actually cross post anymore. Like, cross posting is not something that like I really do anymore, because everything that's in my Poshmark Closet, I'm really the goal is to just sell out the Poshmark Closet. To be 100% honest, the goal is to just sell out the closet and just not really do business there anymore. Like, I like Poshmark, I like sourcing. I don't like the sharing aspect of it, and my business model changed. I'm not selling a bunch of $30 items, $25 items. So that's just not my market anymore. That's not a place where I feel like I can flourish. I think, Poshmark's still good if you're selling clothes and you're selling a lot of lower margin items. And the thing is, not even lower margin, just more affordable stuff. But if you can get it for thrift store prices, $2-3, sell it for 30, that's something that got me to this point. So I mean, it's definitely still money to be made. That's why I don't necessarily use List Perfectly or Vendu. I actually was in contact with one of the people from List Perfectly, but then I realized it makes no sense for me to even try to, I guess, partner with a cross listing platform if I'm not cross listing anymore. Like, everything that's on Poshmark has been there since I first was getting on there. And like I said, the goal is to just get those items sold. So that's just how I'm feeling about it. Do you think Poshmark, in a sense, is a dying platform? That's a really good question. I feel like I've addressed this a couple times in some of my videos, and I feel like I'm very biased only because I don't sell clothing anymore. And the few clothing pieces that I do sell, it's more higher margin items. Like, I'm trying to just sell those really high quality items that sell fast, right? So the thing with Poshmark, for me, it's dying. For me, I don't think it makes sense for me to sell on that platform. However, there's a lot of people still killing it. And I'm a firm believer, and if there's a few people still doing well, the platform can't be dead. It could just be dead for me. It just doesn't suit me anymore. But as a whole, just from the outside looking in, just made a sale. That's what's up. Paris Saint Germain jersey, $70. That's what's up. That'll be in the video. That'll be in the video for sure. But let me take this off. Put that on vibrate. But the main thing is that, where was I with Poshmark? Yeah, so the thing with Poshmark is when I first got on the Poshmark, I got on early, and that's when they first was doing like men's clothing, right? They was like pushing men's clothing that was like brand new to the platform. So I hopped on when Poshmark was still putting out a lot of marketing. Every commercial on YouTube, if you're a reseller, chances are you were seeing mad Poshmark commercials. Now I'm seeing way more Macari commercials. I'm even seeing like eBay commercials every once in a while, but I don't see Poshmark commercials at all. So drop a comment if you guys watch TV and it might be on TV and it's not on the internet. But I just think as a whole, their presence in that marketing push that they had initially had died down. I don't see the marketing like I used to. And the other thing with Poshmark, what kind of shifted is just a lot of people was excited to get on the platform. It was just something new, something fresh. But I think the sharing aspect of it, at first it made sense, and it still does, where it's a place where it kind of makes the playing field even. But as a reseller, as an entrepreneur, no matter what stage of business you're in, whether you're doing it full-time, part-time, hobbyist, no one cares to share. Like, it's not fun. So once bots started getting into play, that changed the game. Like, a lot of people I know for me, I was like, damn, why am I always seeing the same few items every time I scroll, and there's people sharing their same stuff? Like, if I'm sharing my closet 3 times a day, it's people sharing their closet 50 times. You can't compete with that. So it's a lot of stuff that I felt like it's changed with Poshmark. But like I said, for me, I don't like it anymore. I'm kind of moved on, but there's people killing it on there. So just take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, because my business is completely different. But if you thrift, you sell clothing, you sell women's clothing, you're going to make money. And it's super easy. That's one thing with Poshmark that they will always have on their side. It's the easiest platform to sell on, the easiest to ship. So if you selling clothes and all that, you good to go. Let's see. Trying to get some mailers. Any recommendations on eBay? Well, I don't have any specific like eBay sellers I would suggest. I usually buy all my mailers right off of eBay. But honestly, I just try to find whoever has like the best feedback, try to pay the least amount. I used to I still have, I think, some like Amazon affiliate links for Amazon. Amazon stuff is always still going to be good. Theirs is just a little more expensive. So in terms of the eBay recommendations, the only recommendations I guess I have is just first things first is to make sure if you have an eBay store, take advantage of that coupon every quarter. Check your eBay discounts and you will get a shipping coupon, and make sure you take advantage of that. And basically free shipping supplies every quarter. I still do that. I just bought some tape the other day. Tape is the main thing I get with that. I usually get I would sometimes get bags, but I usually always get tape when those coupons come around. Let's see. Can you sell sneakers without box on GOAT? I'm pretty sure you can. I'm like 95% sure you can. I don't sell on GOAT, but I'm 95% sure that you can sell shoes without the original box on GOAT. That's one thing that separates GOAT from StockX. StockX, you need the tags, the box. Everything needs to be, the box even needs to be in great shape. You can't even ship out a messed up box with StockX, but with GOAT, they're a little more lenient. Let's see. I sold something for $30. eBay said someone wanted an item for $40, and the buyer sent me a message wanting me to call them, which I didn't. Why you think they offered more for the item than I asked? That's a scam. That is a scam. Anytime somebody's going to offer you more money for an item that you're asking, that's usually a scam. They're usually going to ask you to, if they can send you the money via PayPal or like a cashier's check. It's always going to be a very fishy, scammy item, scammy like approach that they're going to have. When it comes down to it, if you list an item for $30 and somebody sends you a message for offering you more money, if they wanted the item, they would just buy the item, no questions asked, right? So just avoid those type of stuff. You're most likely a new eBay seller, and new eBay sellers are more often than not the ones that these scammers are like poaching on. They're literally targeting new eBay sellers because they just think you won't know any better. You know what I mean? So just be aware of those type of stuff. Just know that you might be a target for now, but as long as you keep doing business, you keep getting feedback, they're not going to even mess with you anymore. They're not going to send those messages. And just make sure you report them too. Do that for the community as a whole. Just try to get the scammers out of here. because they just make the platform look bad. They make buyers not even want to go on the platform because eBay is known for scams and stuff like that. So just report them as fast as you can. Let's see, Grace Ma, what type of business do you have? Sole proprietor, LLC, independent, LLC, etc. If LLC, what company did you use to help you? So I have an S Corp, S Corporation. I think the main differentiations for the LLC and the S Corp is that with the S Corp, you can pay yourself monthly. That's what I do. I basically I give myself a paycheck every month. And the company I used to set up my payroll was Paychex. I'll probably move on once that discount that they give to first year people. Once that discount is over, it's not even my first year, and this is going on like year 2. But once that discount is over, I'll probably leave. But the other thing that you can do, we got a super chat, $20. That's what's up. Let me see who that is. I appreciate you, Rock Brocane. All right, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get to that question in a second. But yeah, that's very dope. I appreciate that. But yeah, so like I said, I have an S Corp. I use Paychex for my payroll company, and I used the company that I used to set it up. I'll have to get back to you. I don't remember the exact company. I want to go and run and find the book, because once you do everything online, they send you like a seal for any official documents. They basically send you everything that you need. So give me a few minutes. I'll try to get back to that, and I'll see if I can find it. But it was just one of those companies, one of those online companies, and it cost about like $400 to set everything up. So it's kind of pricey, but I just viewed it as an investment towards the future, because once you have it set up, you're good to go. And the other big tip that I have for you before I forget, when it comes down to the LLCs and the S Corp, there's quizzes on Google, right? So not necessarily quiz, like a survey. So you can go on there and it'll tell you which business entity is best for you. So you'll answer just a few questions, and based on your business model, you might only want an LLC, you might want to do a C Corp, you might want to do a S Corp. Everybody's business is different, right? And some people might not see the value or the importance of paying themselves monthly. For me, I know I'm setting things up to buy a house in the next few months. So I knew it was super important for me to basically show anybody that's going to be checking my credit scores and all those types of stuff. These lenders, these mortgage lenders, it's just important for them to see that you're making consistent money, and they want to see those type of stuff, especially if you're a business, if you're a business owner, they want to see your stuff. So keep that in mind. Let's go straight to that super chat though, because that was dope. Let's see. Been meaning to send this for about a month, just on the strength of the pirate ship savings. Consistency t-shirt order next. Send me that schmedium. Thank you very much. I definitely do appreciate that. I'm gonna send you the schmedium because I'm rocking the same size, bro. We in it together. But that's dope. I appreciate it. That's a lot of people have been showing love with the pirate ship videos, because I know for a fact pirate ship is one of those things not a lot of people know about. And even if you did hear about it at first, when I first heard about it, I didn't think it would apply to me, right? I didn't think it would make sense for me to even use it, because at that time I was really selling a lot of clothes, a lot of light items. So first class shipping is the same no matter what you use, whether you ship it on eBay or you ship it via pirate ship. It's really only effective if you're shipping heavier items. And for me, since I'm selling shoes, everything is over 2 pounds. So I'm super thankful for that. That's why I just had to share that information. A lot of people didn't like how I ship my items out. They were saying all types of stuff about the free USPS packaging. It is what it is. But I just figured, if I'm using pirate ship and it's helping me, I could at least pass that on to y'all. Y'all could make it do what it do. Jacqueline Coleman, what's going on? You copped the shirt. I do remember that. I appreciate you. Let's see. How do you store your shoes? I usually buy used and don't have the shoe boxes. So I got my inventory room is a lot of shelves. It's like 5 or 6 shelves, and all the shoes that's in boxes, they go on the shelves. Then the other shoes, I have bins where all the raw shoes that I pick up, those shoes go in the bins. And then I have 2 really large bins for like the used thrift store shoes that's in another room in the house. And that's just for the used thrift store shoes. And what I do is I'll basically throw a rubber band. I'll put the shoes sole to sole. That way it's not gonna get damaged or mess up any other shoe. And I put a rubber band on it, and I just throw them in the bin, and they've been just fine. It's not like they're getting damaged or anything like that. And if they do get a little creased up before I, ship it out, I'll make sure I clean it up before they go out. But at the end of the day, they're already used shoes, so they're not in perfect condition. And I just store them in the bin like that. And for the first 2 years, that's the majority of my items was all used. So that's the system I've been using forever. It's probably not the most efficient, and like in terms of space, since I do have a significant amount of space, I don't really that doesn't bother me. But you could use racks, you can use the bins. I've seen other people where they put shoes in bags to make sure that they don't get like too damaged. For me, I think that's a little overkill, especially for used stuff. But there's just way to do it, and that's just the way I like to do it, because it's the most easiest and most effective way for me. Let's see. Yes, David, I sold some shoes without the box. Yeah, that's for GOAT. So it's a fact. If he did it and he sold shoes without the box, you can do it too. Let's see. Have you ever had a lowballer harass you after you declined their offer? That used to happen all the time. Like that used to happen all the time. And I felt like it was trolls, might be people that watched the channel, and they might have been a troll and they just wanted to, send me a lowball offer just to see how I would react. Because months ago, I would always tell people, oh, I hate lowball offers. It's so annoying. So shortly after I would make a video, guaranteed that a lowball would come. And the thing that I did to just stop all that and to prevent that, I stopped accepting offers on eBay. Maybe 99% of my eBay store right now is buy it now, no offers. I usually do free shipping as well, so I incorporate the cost of shipping in my items, and it's just better for your mental health. You don't got to be stressed. You don't get excited when you get a notification on your phone and it's just a low ball. As you guys heard earlier, any notification I get from eBay is either a eBay message from a buyer, a potential buyer, or it's a purchase. And that's another reason why I'm kind of over Poshmark, because you can't turn offers off. Like you can even put in your description, firm price, no offers, and someone will still send you an offer. So there's no way around that. So that's one way. That's another reason why I don't really like Poshmark anymore. But if you want to make more sales, I would say accepting offers helps you make faster sales. Because when I was selling clothing and I was taking offers on everything, my sell-through rate was crazy. Like my sell-through rate was like 60%, like 70%. Like anything I put up, I would usually sell it really, really fast. The downside to it now is that, my stuff still sells pretty quickly, but when you're no longer accepting offers, you just have to be on top of your store. You have to change your prices often. You got to be involved. You got to pay attention to the market. But once you're accepting offers, if you got a solid offer, you're going to take it, get that money, and put it back into the business. Let's see, Will, what's going on? Yeah, man, we need tax people info bad. It's real now. eBay reporting us and all. I got to take care of it this year. So it depends on how much you've been selling, because eBay was always reporting the information. If you made over 20,000 in sales, I believe it was over 20,000 and or 200 transactions, they was going to send you a 1099, right? So even if you hit that hit that plateau, or if you was to hit that amount of transactions and you made $5,000 on eBay, it'll still behoove you to still claim that money just to cover your ass. You don't want to hide any income, because the last thing you want is for you to be doing well later on, like 5-6 years later down the road, and then the IRS comes knocking and says, hey, do you realize you didn't report this money from 2012? You know what I mean? So for me, I just know a lot of people get in trouble with IRS and all those types of stuff. So it's just best to just report it and just get a good tax person. You know what I mean? It's tough. It took me a while to find a solid tax person, but once you got a solid tax person, you should be good, because especially if you're not doing a ton of sales on eBay, it gives you the right to write off a lot of stuff. So even if you're buying a printer and a laptop, you can write all those things off. If you're working from home, then you can write off, your cell phone bill and a whole bunch of other stuff. So still just take advantage of the benefits and of just owning a business. You know what I mean? Let's see. What is the best way to ship sneakers and books? Pirate ship. Pirate ship is the way to go. Let's see. Bounty No Man. Are you rich yet from this? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm rich in spirit, I'm rich in love, but I don't know if I would call myself rich. A thing that I was just telling like a couple of my friends the other day, it's a really good feeling knowing that you're not hustling for the rent, knowing that you got some money put aside in case of a rainy day, knowing that you're not like, I got student debt, like I student loan debt, but I'm not in debt. You know what I mean? Like it's a good feeling to know that you're not living check to check, month to month, scrambling just to get by. So I'm not rich yet, but I'm no longer in the space that I was when I first got on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like it's a blessing with some hard work and some just hard work and discipline, what it'll do. Because I don't buy a lot of stuff. I don't waste money like I used to, but like I said, I'm just in a different space now compared to where I used to be. Let's see. Maybe you can make a whole video about your S Corp setup. So I got a video on the channel now. I had a business professional. So we discussed LLCs, S Corps, when's the best time to set it up. And we did maybe a 40-minute interview. So go into the playlist and you'll find that the name of that video is Everything You Need to Know About LLCs. And it should help you out with everything you need to know. I spoke about my S Corp as well, and I gave some information on that. So you should be good. Why don't you sell on GOAT? So I'm just stubborn. Like eBay's working. They don't charge fees for over $100. So I'm just killing it on there, and I'm just like enjoying that. Not to say I won't ever sell on GOAT, because I'm pretty sure there'll come a point where I just want to start. I might get into the cross listing mindset again. Right now I'm just not there, but I like GOAT. I think it's cool. I actually bought shoes from GOAT. StockX I never purchased anything from, but I think it's good that we got other platforms to sell on. But eBay works for me, so I just stick with that. Why are you sleeping on Burlingtons? Nah, I definitely don't sleep on Burlington. Like the one in my area is pretty trash, so the one in my area I'm gonna sleep on that for sure. But I do get some stuff every once in a while, and I did a video maybe 2 weeks, maybe last week I did a Burlington haul, and we found some stuff. Even the jersey that just sold, that PSG Nike jersey, that soccer jersey, I got that one from Burlington. I think that was $25 and it sold for $70. So I like Burlington, but I don't get as much. I don't come up on stuff there that often. So when I'm talking about retail arbitrage, Burlington isn't the first place I think of. You know what I mean? Let's see. I had someone do that on Posh on some OBJ cleats that I had listed at 300, and he said I got them at 20 at Ross, and I did. But the funny thing is, it sold 2 weeks later for 300. Yeah, so I mean, if somebody sends you a message and they know where you got your stuff from, who cares? You know what I mean? That's not the goal. The goal is to sell the item. There's people that's gonna talk trash and be mad at the resellers and stuff. Whatever. Get your money, keep it moving. Let's see. Just started off with about $6,000 in shoes. I'm only about 5,000 in sales. So Nike, hash, killing it on GOAT, StockX, and Marketplace slowly. Are you a rich man yet from this reselling? Yeah, so like I said, not a rich man yet. I don't even know what would qualify as rich. If you want to go into hard numbers, last year we did we did 6,000, not 6,000. We did 6 figs last year, and I'm already on track to. The goal was 300,000 in sales this year. So I mean, we're not on track yet. I don't feel like as the months continue to progress, I do feel like the effects of COVID it did affect the business, only because I wasn't able to source as much as I would have liked to. So seeing that we still have all of fourth quarter, I'm approaching. I'm expecting a big fourth quarter, because online sales across the board was really big this year. People have been shopping like crazy. So I'm planning on having a big fourth quarter this year. If we don't hit 300K in sales, it's not going to be the end of the world. I know we're going to do well over 600 in 600,000. I know we're going to do over 6 figures again. And as long as the profit is there for me, you know what I mean? Just to let you know another thing too, I'm buying a house this year, and it's gonna happen no matter what. So I'm not gonna say I'm rich, but like I said before, it's one of those things where you put in the hard work, you have the discipline, you be consistent with whatever it is that you're trying to do. You're gonna be able to, provide for yourself and your family. My wife works with me now too. She quit her job. I mean, all those types of things will just show you the type of money that we're making, where I'm able to, provide for myself and my wife. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to just, the reason why I don't feel like getting into too much specifics when it comes down to money with reselling is because I'm doing this full time, right? This is my business. This is like the main source of income. Somebody that's doing it part-time and they're making a few $100 a month, they're killing it, and they might feel like they're doing really good too. And salute to them. So I don't ever want to talk too much about figures and money too much and make people feel bad for what they're not doing or how much they're doing. Cause I just feel like as long as we all pay attention to what we do and mind our own business and really get to the money, we will be just fine. I don't want to even deter people and make people feel bad about money and all those types of stuff. Cause I see it online. I see it on the gram. Like people try to play people that's not doing well. And to me, that's trash. So I'm not even trying to be a part of that group. Let's see. You ever get weird looks from the workers at Marshalls or Ross when you're grabbing stuff as they are stocking? I experienced this today. Now, I don't necessarily get weird looks. I feel like they know what's happening. I feel like they know what time it is. Like they know I'm not the only reseller in my city, so they've seen it before. I think when I was in when I was doing a lot more thrifting, I felt like if I had a big full cart, I would get a lot more weird looks. Nowadays, even when I go to Ross or even if I go to like the Adidas outlet, the employees are like glad to see me because they know I'm about to cash out. So it's different. You know what I mean? And even if they did give me weird looks, I don't really care. Like I'm really trying to get to that zone and that frequency where the negativity is just avoided. Like I'm really trying to just get to that place, and I'm slowly but surely getting there. But even if they were giving me weird looks, whatever, keep it moving. 60K a year in sales. Yeah, I'm in for it. Yeah, you're definitely gonna get that 1099. eBay is gonna send that to you for sure. But that's what's up. 60K in sales. That's good money right there. Good money right there. Let's see. Did you start a new eBay account when you decided to get your S Corp for your biz, or did you use the same account? Same account, same everything. I didn't necessarily change too much of anything. The only difference now is that, I feel like everything was just way more official. And when it came down to tax time, I was basically still treating mostly everything the same. Well, when you're filing like a S Corp tax return, it's different. You need a good CPA that handles it. Some people hate doing it, so you're definitely going to need to find a good CPA that's going to handle it. But the main difference was just the fact that I'm an employee of the DapperAdvisor Inc. I'm not like I separated myself from the business. That was the only real big difference. So you don't need to change anything. You might want to change your PayPal from a personal to a business account, but even as a sole proprietor, my PayPal was already a business account. And now since eBay has managed payments, I don't even think that's necessary. So Rock Brocane, that's a dope name, man. Rock Brocane. Let me see. Do you track your individual per item costs versus sales price on a spreadsheet, or do you use some other software? Like my man said, the taxes are going to get real for me this year. So I don't necessarily do like per item because I'm selling like a lot of volume per month. So if I was to do that, that'll take a lot of time. So how I use my spreadsheet, whatever earnings come through the month, I separate everything. So it'll be, income per month, revenue for that month, and whatever I spent would be the money going out. So that'll be the expenditures for that month. So instead of doing everything line by line, I just do month by month, and it kind of just gives me a better perspective of all those items that way. And if I ever wanted to dive deep and check like the initial profit margins, you can always check those type of stuff. But for me, that's not important, especially not for taxes. That's not important to do like the every single item checking the profit margins. That's not necessarily important, at least for me. Let's see. Can I use military priority boxes? Was about to package some orders and realized I picked them up by mistake. I don't even know much about the military priority boxes. I know they exist, but I never used one. So um, I probably wouldn't use it if I was you, only because I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if they have something different, if it's like a different rate. But just to be on the safe side, I probably wouldn't use it. Um, you don't want to spend any more money, and you don't want to get like a charge back to your eBay account later down the road once the item is already delivered. You don't want to do that. So I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I just wouldn't even use it. How much does the shipping usually cost on shoes? On average, about $8 and about 56 cents on average. Sometimes it might be $9 and like 20 cents, or $9 and 40 cents if it's going from the West Coast to the East Coast. But on average, I'm selling a lot of stuff to California, a lot of stuff to like Texas. So the cutoff is usually about 850, just about. What's been your take on eBay's managed payments with all these retail stores filing bankruptcy? Do you believe fourth quarter will be better than last year? Okay, good two-part question. So first off, my take on eBay's managed payments, I like it so far. So far, it's been smooth. I haven't got any problems with it. At first, I set my payouts to be daily, and then I changed it to weekly. Because I set it to daily, but I wasn't getting it daily. It would take like maybe 3 days until they would actually deposit the funds. So I just changed it weekly. That way it will be a larger, like a lump sum that'll go into my business bank account. So everything so far is smooth. I've been seeing the way how they break down the fees, and it's similar to Poshmark, where they break down the fees. They take the fee out, and then they deposit your earnings into the account. So far, I do like what I'm seeing. There was somebody that dropped a comment on one of my other videos. They said some of the numbers been off for them, so they're gonna like give me an update and let me know. But I think so far, especially for me, everything seems pretty smooth. I'm happy with it. I use a business bank account. I didn't want to set up the managed payments with a personal bank account, only because I still wanted to approach it being on the safe side, because you never know. Sometimes eBay might have messed up something, and then you wouldn't have any access to your money. Who knows? People might have hacked the account. So I made sure I used my business bank account. Even if you don't have a business bank account, I would just tell people set up a separate, personal bank account that you would only use for managed payments. That way it's separate from your personal, just in case anything was to ever happen. But thankfully everything is all good. It's only been like a week and a half so far since I've been on to manage payments. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. The next question you asked, with all these retail stores filing bankruptcy, do you believe fourth quarter will be better than last year? Well, for me, I know for a fact this fourth quarter is going to be better, only because, and I say this confidently, mainly because I just kind of got hip to doing retail arbitrage late last year. So when I bought a ton of Uggs last year, that's what was selling for me. Those are all brand new with a box, and those were flying off the shelves during the fourth quarter, right? This year, a lot of my items are brand new with box, brand new without box. At the end of the day, a lot of my items are brand new. During the fourth quarter, people are shopping for gifts. They're shopping for themselves, so they want brand new items. Even though people will still buy used as a gift, it's still a small percentage of people. The common average buyer wants something brand new to present as a gift for themselves or their kids or their wife. So I know for a fact this fourth quarter is going to be bigger, and I'm putting way more preparation than I did last year. And in my frat, one of the biggest things we always says, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So I literally just prepared for fourth quarter. I've been thinking about it since last year. So I'm making sure that I'm going to be good. I'm making sure that the money is going to be, the inventory is going to be there. And as long as, I've done what I needed to do, I'm happy with that. And in terms of all these stores filing bankruptcy, if these stores start closing, it's going to be liquidation sales, and I'm going to take advantage of that too. So it's for me, I'm only seeing the positive in it. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think sales are going to be bad. I know even someone last week asked me, with the state of the economy that it's in, what's my plan B? And I defiantly said, like, my plan B is to make sure my plan A works. And I'll say that time and time again. It's just a matter of putting in the work, having the faith, and believing in yourself and just trusting the process. It's all very cliche terms, but it's stuff that I live by. You know what I mean? You just got to do the work. And if you do the work, the success, the money, the fame, all that stuff, it'll come. Well, not the fame. I don't want the fame. They can keep that. But the money and the success is going to come as long as you do the work. So very long-winded answer, but you get my point. Let's see. I feel like they are watching me. I figured it's because I'm black and they think I might steal something. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Depending on what store you're in, that is possible. But I feel like when I'm in a lot of these stores, like my Marshalls, for instance, last time I went to Marshalls, I had like 2 carts full of shoes. And the person at the register was just smiling and happy. And it's just like, she even told me, thanks for clearing out the store because they had so much back inventory. Now they have more space. So I view it, both ways. I'm definitely not going to act like it's not possible that they was giving you weird looks because you black, because I know how that is. I know I used to be that person being followed around the store, because I was in like, say, Barney's or something, and I'm looking for an outfit. And they would be following me around the store, not because they want to help, but because I'm black. So I know the feeling, bro. You ain't alone. Let's see. What are your best practices to consistently get feedback from buyers on eBay? I've sold about 20 items recently and only got about 3 feedbacks total. So this is the tough part, right? Let me drink some water real quick. So this is the thing. Most buyers, I would probably say maybe 60-70% of buyers, they don't leave feedback. It just is what it is. So one good thing for you to do if you're trying to gain feedback is to give feedback. You give feedback, that way once they get the item, especially when the item is delivered and then you send feedback that same day while it's fresh in their head, they might send you feedback. Just the odds of them sending you feedback is going to be much higher, right? Doing good business, period. Like making sure they get the item in a good amount of time, making sure it's as described, just doing your part. Sometimes people will give you feedback. But that's really all you can do. It's really outside of your control. I just say to get feedback, you should give it, and just try to give good customer service, and hopefully that person gives you feedback as well. Some people message people and say, hey, I left you feedback, I'd appreciate it too. You can do that. I've never done that, but that's an option on the table there as well. Only reason why I never do that is only because feedback was never that big of a deal to me. Especially once I got over 1,000, I stopped caring. So probably a bad habit. Probably shouldn't be like me. You probably should always continue to, try to get as much feedback as possible. But I just know I didn't really push that much. So do good business, send them a message. That might work for you too. And then give feedback. That's the best advice I got. Let's see. I just hit 30 pairs of Air Max today at Ross. What do you think about Air 200s? Well, first off, congrats. That's a hell of a haul. Air Max 200s, I usually don't pick them up unless it's a good deal. The 200s, they was in outlets for a while. They still in outlets right now. I know you could probably get them for a good deal, even with box. Sometimes I've been seeing, especially last week when they had the 20 with the additional 20, there's probably people getting them for like maybe $30, maybe even cheaper than that. So if you were able to get Air Max 200s for a decent price, I would say get it. But usually the Air Max 200s, the price tag, the margins just aren't there for me. But still a dope shoe. But like I said, the margins just aren't there. Air Max 200s flooded. Well, yeah, that's a big part of it too. It's flooded, and it's flooded because it's an affordable shoe, and it's in a lot of outlets, so a lot of people have access to it. But the big thing too, when the item is flooded, like somebody was saying this in one of my comments yesterday on my Ross haul video. If you're able to be patient with the item, even if a particular SKU is flooded, if you're able to be patient, though, that once that race to the bottom happens and everybody sells out their stuff, then you can still be the last person standing and make full profit on your item. That's why I made sure I was very clear with what I was saying, because I know the items I picked up was flooded, but I'm patient. And thankfully, I'm able to practice patience now because, I'm not super strapped for cash. $50 or, spending $600 on some shoes in a day is not going to break the bank. Now, 2 years ago, this would have absolutely broke the bank. There's no way I was going to be able to do that. But like I said, we're in a new stage now where I'm able to just be more patient. So it just depends on everybody's business model and where you're at. But like I said, if I could do it, you could do it too. Let's get back to some of these questions. Let's see what's going on. My man BG, when I source, I go into extreme competitive zone, as you should. People be in there smiling and chatting it up. I'm in there, game face on. And the good thing is now we got to wear masks so people can't even see like how aggressive my face is. But I'm locked in because at the end of the day, like I used to play sports. I'm a competitive person, so it's naturally just in me. But the attitude you got to have is like, yo, I'm using this. I'm getting money with these. Like I'm not buying stuff to be fashionable. I'm buying stuff to make money. So if you have that competitive approach, you know, you be more successful. Everybody in business is super competitive. There's people that's in business and they never plan on retiring because it's a sport they can be competitive with regardless of their physical, you know, stature. You know what I mean? So definitely got to be competitive with it. How many shoes did you have listed before you went full time? So I started out full time. Like I didn't start part time. Like I just jumped straight in. And when I started out, I was selling thrifted items. And not even when I started, I was just selling my stuff. Like I was just selling suits. I was selling my dress shoes. I was selling my stuff. But it was full time even when I first started because I quit my job and I didn't really have a plan. So the whole like full-time reseller thing, like I just did that because that was the only source of income at that time. And then I just, you know, gradually just tried to refine my skills and just get better. So I can't even tell you how much shoes I started with. I just started with my closet and just kept putting that money back into the business. Let's see, but I do spend a lot of time still doing comps in store. I need to get comfortable with brands and risks. I still check comps all the time. Like I'm in the stores checking my phone, depending on what store I'm in. I might be doing that at the register. If I'm in line, I might be waiting and just, you know, checking comps. Checking comps is super important. There is times, say for instance, I'm in a Nike outlet and I don't have service because the Nike outlet in my area, the store just terrible. But if I need to take a risk on a shoe, I'll go ahead and I'll take that risk only if I know exactly what I'm dealing with. But most items, I'm still checking comps. You know what I mean? Like, just don't trip about wasting time or thinking you're wasting time. What you're doing is you're just doing the work, and you're getting better. And there's gonna come a point where you're not gonna spend as much time checking comps. You're gonna be able to just check it really quickly, and you'll be good to go. But always do the work. Always do the work. Oh, Maggie Hall, another person that copped the shirt. Shout out to you. Thanks again. Let's see. You guys are my inspiration for being my own boss. Any recommendations for leveraging credit? I love this question. We could talk about credit all day. So the first tip for leveraging credit, you want to make sure you got a credit. You get a credit card that gives good rewards, right? The very basic credit cards are going to offer 1%. Right now I have the Capital One Spark business card. I have to pay an annual fee, but I think it's 2% cash back. So I'm capitalizing on those rewards. So that's one very, very big piece in terms of leveraging credit. I was using it mainly for flight mileage, so I can actually just take trips for free. But a few years ago when I was doing it, I was usually just using it for the cash and help lower my statement. The other big tip in terms of leveraging your credit, you have to make sure that you're paying off your statement every month in full. You have, like, even if you're spending, I think the easiest way to put it is that you have to make more money than you're spending. And thankfully, I'm making more money than I'm spending now, right? So you have to make sure that you're able to just pay off your credit card, because some people can find themselves in debt really, really quickly and find themselves in trouble when it comes to the concept of leveraging credit. So that's the two important things. And another big tip too, there's two things. There's your statement date and then there's your due date. So sometimes, most times with the credit card, once it says your due date is, say, September 10th, and the statement date that's when they actually report it to the credit card company. That might not be until the 15th. So even if you're not 100% able to pay your statement off in full by the due date, pay whatever you can. But then you might still have 3, 4, 5 days until the statement date. Then you pay that off completely. So you're still going to have a few more days to pay off your credit card in full. But that's the biggest tips I got. I've never paid interest. I don't plan on it. I've never been late, and I don't plan on it. And if the thing is, by never being late and building strong credit, it just puts you in a good position for the future. Because for me, this is a long-term game. This isn't like a quick money grab, right? This isn't like overnight success, like bullshit stories. So the good thing about just leveraging your credit and having good credit history is that you can start getting more money. You can start increasing your credit limits from $5, $10, $15 to $50,000 in credit. And once you start having more credit, you can start buying way more inventory and just really create a different business model. You can just do more with less. So that's a few tips I can think off the top of my head. If anything comes back to me, if anybody got other tips, drop that in the comment section too. But that's the stuff that came straight to mind. Let's see. We got Brian Ronin. I've been reselling for about 1.5 years, and now I'm in the zone that I don't pay attention to employees looking at me. Sometimes they ask me if I'm a reseller, and I explain what I do. Yeah, that's another thing. Once you're in the zone, that's why I say, to having that competitive mindset, you're not even going to trip about what other people thinking, what other people looking at. Because at the end of the day, those people looking at you, they're not paying your bills. They're not putting money in your pocket. They're not putting food on the table. So it's like they could watch, but this is what's going on. You got to get your money. So sometimes I tell people I'm a reseller. Sometimes, I don't even answer them. Sometimes I just keep moving. Like, I don't got time to converse. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm busy. I keep it moving. So you just got to get that money, man. Let's see. That's what I was hoping you'd say, because I'd be dead in the water figuring out what I paid for each item I already sold. Thanks, bro. Yeah, if you was to do profit margins for every single item, it'll take you a very long time. Let's see. Watch those managed payment numbers. Mine are off for sure. So did you contact eBay and ask them anything, or did you? And when you say off, what do you mean? Was the fees more than it was supposed to be? Did they take out too much fees? Like, let me know what you mean by the numbers are off, because I was looking at mine and it seemed like everything is on point, but by you saying that, now my antennas is up. So expound on that a little bit. Let's see, Mr. Mo, do you think this USPS nonsense is going to get worse? Do you think we should start looking at other shipping services? So, I mean, honestly, I don't know, because I was just looking up some articles on that just yesterday, where they were saying, they've been pulling back on overtime. So with that being said, USPS workers are upset. And with this whole COVID everything, they've been laying off people too. So they're understaffed and they're overworked, just like a lot of other industries, but particularly USPS. And USPS was already, I believe they were already in debt. So it's a lot going on with USPS right now. I would say we should probably start looking into other services, but then again, I mean, I don't really know. I know it's super delayed. I know I've even ordered some padded flat rate bags. I try to order some like every couple of weeks because I use them so often. And I ordered them on August 3rd. Today's the 13th, and it's still processing. So it's stuff like that I'm paying attention to. I'm seeing that, they're very behind on certain stuff. Thankfully, a lot of my orders, they're still getting scanned. Probably because I'm not in like a super big city. I'm not in Phoenix, so it's not as busy as other post offices are. So I'm thankful for that. They're still able to scan my stuff and buyers are getting their stuff in time. But I've also dealt with packages getting lost. I shipped the item to Canada. The item ended up in Beijing and it never uploaded tracking after it was sent to Beijing. Thankfully, eBay covered it with their like eBay buyers protection program. So thankfully we was covered with that. But I mean, it's weird. It's a very weird time right now. I probably will start looking into like DHL and FedEx and just comparing rates. But I mean, it's tough because I know those are going to be more expensive than USPS. So I don't necessarily got like a clear cut answer for right now. But We all in this together. Literally every online reseller, every online business is in this together. So I'm pretty sure something's gonna change. But I mean, we'll see. See, how do you stay positive? I seem to get down on myself when I don't find any shoes, but really happy when I do. How do you stay consistent with your emotions? Shit, I don't stay consistent with my emotions. Like, I'm working on it though. It's one of those things where I try to keep myself in check. I try to stay positive. I try to like consume positive information, right? Like, I'm on YouTube often. I read often. So I'm trying to consume positive information, stuff that's going to like refill my cup. That way I'm not off kilter and I'm not off balance, right? Oh, I definitely seen a super chat for a second too. Somebody sent a $5 super chat. Shout out to you. I'm gonna get to that question. Mario C, shout out to you. I'm gonna get to that question as soon as I'm done. That I appreciate you though. But yeah, I try to like, just be positive by all means in terms of consuming positive content, watching my words. Like, I try not to put negative energy out, because it's a fact. Whatever energy you put out is the energy you're gonna get back. So I try to just stay positive with all those types of stuff. And when I go out and I don't find anything that's quality, I don't necessarily get upset, because I know that's part of the game. All right. Being consistent really means being consistent even when times are tough. Like, when things seem slow, you're still walking in faith. You know what I mean? It's all about just doing the work, staying positive, and being consistent, even if it's like it seems like, yo, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. Like, you might feel like that, but you're not. You know what I mean? You're definitely not wasting your time. You're doing the right thing. And I'm big on affirmations. Like, especially if I'm working out, like, I'm the type that's gonna say, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. You gotta push. Like, I talk to myself. Like, I give myself that upliftment when I need it. So that's just a few of the stuff I do. But I mean, it's simple. I'm not gonna say it's simple, but it comes with practice. And I'm still working on it all the time. I'm not there yet. But like, that's the type of stuff that I'm doing to kind of keep myself in check. Let's see. I seem to always find everything at the last store I go to, so I'm down all day until the last store. That's a fact. I know exactly what you mean. And the thing is, sometimes I'll go to a store and I'll wouldn't find anything, but because I didn't find anything, I'm not ready to go home yet. Like, I don't want to just leave empty-handed. So I'll go to another store and another store until I at least feel like I've put in enough time and I've been able to get something out of it. Because the worst thing is when you spend a few hours out and you leave with nothing. Like, those are the days where it's like it could get really tough and like mentally straining. But it's all part of practice. Let's see. California is so dry where I live. Thrift stores in Ross and Burlington. Yeah, what part of Cali you in? I was in Marina and I was in Santa Barbara when I lived in California. And it was dry, especially Ross and Burlington, but the thrift stores was just way better out there. So you just got to kind of figure out like which market you're gonna go through. Like, some people, their Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, everything is trash. So they only do garage sales, or they only do flea markets, or they only do wholesale, or they only do liquidation. There's different ways, you know what I mean? So I just you got to pivot when needed. In business, you got to pivot. It's constantly about switching it up and figuring out what's working and what's not. So if your Ross is trash, go a different route. Let's see. Do big sizes sell fast? Well, I've been seeing some Kobe's in size 15. Their price is $49.99. I see people have them listed on eBay for $100. No, size 15 isn't going to sell fast. But it just depends on which shoe it is. It might sell pretty good. It might not. Size 14 is usually like my cutoff for a big shoe. Once we get into the 15, 16, 17, if it's not on clearance and like super, super cheap, I'm not picking it up because it takes too long to sell. I'm always prepared to wait 2 to 3 months for an item to sell. But at the same time, when you're dealing with big shoes, you can take 5, 6 months. And if the profit isn't worth it, I'm not going to do it. How do you respond when lowballers give you sob stories? I don't respond. Move on. Sometimes I even delete it. Not interested. Do you have a video showing how you wrapped and ship your shoes without getting damaged? Yeah. So the majority, none of my stuff gets damaged. A lot of people are like usually concerned when I tell them I use padded flat rate bags or I just put a box in a bag. Like a lot of people get concerned, but shoes don't. It's not fragile items. We're not like dealing with glass here. So there's several ways that you can make sure the items don't get damaged. You can like put the bag, put like kind of like saran wrap the bag, the shoes, and then put it in a padded flat rate bag. You can like double up the padded flat rate bags. There's different ways to do it, but none of my items get damaged. Thankfully, none of my items get damaged. It just doesn't happen as often as people think. I know some people, if they've had bad experiences, you know, it only takes one bad experience for people to like change their entire outlook on something. But for me, like I said, it doesn't happen. So I'm glad. Let's see. Have you thought about selling on Facebook Marketplace? No, I thought about it, but it wasn't necessarily like something that I was really like wanting to put a ton of effort into. You know what I mean? It was one of those platforms where I was like, it's cool, but it's not like a must. You know, eBay was working for me, so I just kept going with that. But let me head to the super chat. I just remember we got a super chat, so let me see. Mario C, thanks again. Do you have any tips of keeping track of your current inventory? So my inventory system, super simple. I have bins and I number and label all of them A through 10. So it's A1 through A10, and you know, B through 10, D through 10, so on and so forth. And that's just the easiest way for me to manage my inventory. In eBay, there's a section called custom SKU. So in that custom SKU section, I make sure that whatever bin that the shoe is in, I make sure I put that there, A10, A7, just so that I know exactly which bin it's in. And ever since I started doing that, I no longer lose items. It doesn't take me long to find it. So that's just a really good way to go about it. And since I'm selling shoes and I have just a few bins, I probably have maybe 15 bins in total. So I'm not dealing with a ton of stuff where they can easily get lost. But that's one thing that's really helped me out, because prior to my inventory getting a little bigger, I just had bins, no labels, no nothing. And I would just go off of memory. But once my wife started working with me, I couldn't just do stuff off memory. I had to start implementing systems to make it easier for her as well. So just by doing that simple thing, it's worked out really, really well. And it's not like a super, like super intuitive type of thing. It's super, super simple, but it's just a good trick in terms of keeping your stuff more together. Let's see. Bro, Ross asked me and my wife why we keep coming. That's funny. That is funny. The security at Ross, they're cool, but she definitely said, "Oh, back again. Oh, back again." And I literally told her, I was like, "You're gonna see me all the time, so we might as well be friends, because you're gonna see me all the time." And because it's the Ross right down the street from me, so every time I see, I always say hi, little conversation. I don't try to be those type of people that, because to me it's always weird when you see people in Ross or any store for that matter. When I lived in Santa Barbara, there was this guy that was very fake. Like he tried to purposely become friends with the employees, and that, to me, that's a turnoff. It's very like, it's just corny. You know what I mean? So I'm not that type of person. I just try to, put out good energy, say hi, say bye. If they want to talk, we can talk, but keep it moving after that. And that's just what works best for me. Other people say, they try to finesse people and build relationships, but it's like fake relationships. It's not real. So I just try to avoid that type of stuff. Let's see. We never really see you source at Nike Outlet. I just got back and found some good stuff. Honestly, I'm in Ross all the time. I'm in Ross and Marshalls more often than Nike Outlet. I haven't been to the Nike Outlet. Honestly, I haven't been there since they opened back after, quarantine and the whole pandemic started. So the reason why I haven't been going is because I know that line situation was very weird. No, I'm lying. I went a couple times. I went to the clearance center in Tempe. So I went a couple times, but the Nike outlets that they have in like Chandler and Glendale, I stopped going because I just didn't have I'm not going to say I didn't have the time, because I can make time. I just didn't want to go and wait in line. So the next time I go, it'll probably be first thing in the morning. and I'll probably start doing that more often than not. But ever since they changed the rules, I stopped going. And Ross was really coming in the clutch. So I'm one of those people, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So Ross was working and I just kept going. Let's see. Any tips on a strong eBay title you normally go off of? So the way I list, I use sell similar. So if the person before me, whatever title they use, the only thing I usually take out is like the style code, and I'll change the size. Other than that, I usually keep the whatever title that worked for them in order for the item to sell. I usually keep my title just about the same. Let's see. If you were to rank your top 5 places to source, what would the list look like? That's a good question. Top source, Ross for sure, number 1 right now. Definitely Ross. I love the Adidas outlet. I love Marshalls. Then I would say Burlington, and then I would say thrift stores as a whole. Let's see. Thoughts on the Adidas Dame 6. Dope shoe, but the resale is not that high, so I don't know. What's your average ROI per shoe this year? I have no clue. Honestly, I didn't even check. I probably should check, but oh, I thought you said the average like sale, the ASP. That's something different than like PayPal would show you ASP. But my average ROI per shoe is usually just about like maybe 90%. I usually try to always double up. If not double up, I try to get close to it. So a lot of the shoes I'm picking them up for about $40, $50 on average, and they're selling for like 100 plus. So on average, it's just about like 90 to either 100% doubling up. Do a credit vid, bro. People need it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because clearly people ask these questions during the live, so I'm gonna definitely do that for sure. Man, it's a great feeling finding those diamonds in these stores during these hot days. Stay hydrated when grinding. Absolutely, gotta stay hydrated. You see, I got the cup. Make sure I drink my water so my skin could be good and my insides will be all right. Let's see. I ordered USPS shoe boxes like 2 months ago. Still haven't got them. That is ridiculous. Sheesh. Hopefully they start shipping these stuff out. And the thing is, I'm even going to try, because there was a time when I needed padded flat rate bags, and I kept going to the post office, and they would give me like 1 or 2 at a time. So you can try to even ask the people at the post office, but when it comes to padded flat rate bags or any box that is not like a flat rate, they are so stingy with it. So stingy. They act like it's coming out their pockets. But excuse me, it's just one of those things you gotta, like I said, you just gotta try to stay on top of your inventory. Make sure that you, like for me, I had like 100 padded flat rate bags, but the last time I ordered, it took so long for them to ship it out. So before I even ran out, I ordered more. So you might just want to keep doing that. Even put in the order now for more shoe boxes, and you never know. That order might come before this one. Let's see. Managed is off on certain line items and also off on deposit amounts versus sales for the day. I'm on daily pays. I get the runaround and they say they will fix it up, but I'm not buying it, bro. Look close. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because you can't even necessarily, like, the callback feature with eBay is terrible right now. You have to wait sometimes up to an hour before they call you back. So that's definitely tough. I mean, I really have nothing to say about that, because thankfully I'm not dealing with that same problem, but I feel like it's just some tweaks. Like you said, if they said they're going to fix it and they recognize that it's a problem, you got to stay on top of them. They're not going to call you and ask you, is everything all right? So just stay on top of them, make sure they actually fix it, because that's the best way to go about it. They're not going to call you and say, hey, we owe you money. You know what I mean? You're going to have to call them and stay on top of them. Tim Doyle with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. You are appreciated. Definitely appreciated. Thank you. Let's see. I get mad not finding anything one day, then one day I find 20 pairs of Air Max in one store and I can't buy them all. Man, that is funny. I mean, like you said, once I start doing these credit videos, that shouldn't happen to you anymore. Because when I get good opportunities, I buy it all up. I don't let any good opportunities leave my site. because a lot of opportunities, I'm not going to say once in a lifetime, but a lot of opportunities are far and few in between. You know what I mean? So I don't take anything for granted. So if I come across good deals, I scoop it all up. And that's why I'm a huge proponent of just holding some items. You might have to wait a couple months before it sells, because when the money's going to come, you know what I mean? The money's going to come either today, next week, or next year. The money's going to come. So sometimes I just be patient and just grab it all up, even if I got to sit on it for a while. Let's see. So true. Positivity is key. The last 2 times I went to the bins, I told myself, okay, we are going to have a good day. Yeah, that's a good way to set the tone. You know what I mean? You even want to set the tone as soon as you wake up. Like I'm not even going to make it sound like I'm a yogi and I meditate, but first thing in the morning, I try to, say some affirmations. Of course, I might pray a little bit. Some mornings I pray, some nights I pray. I pray when I feel like praying. But, it's just one of those things where you want to just set the tone first thing in the morning. Today's going to be a good day. I'm about to wake up to a ton of sales, or I'm about to go sourcing and find a ton of stuff. Like, you just want to, put out the positive energy, and it usually always comes back. Let's see. How do you track your mileage? Apps or old school pen and paper? Thanks. I use that mileage app. I think it's Mile IQ. That's how I track my miles. Very wise credit advice. Thank you. I'll definitely incorporate those tips. Not my strength, so I'll need all the help I can get. No problem. I'm glad I could help. Let's see. If you post on KittyZen, you can have it auto post to Facebook Marketplace. Now, you see, I'm not selling kids clothes or anything. Like, I sell maybe some kids shoes, maybe like some kids sizes, but I'm not really big on the kids clothing. So that platform really doesn't even apply to me. But that's a good tip for everybody in the chat. If you post on KittyZen, you can have it auto post to Facebook Marketplace. Drop a comment if you guys use KittyZen. I know Maggie Hall, I know she uses that. But anybody else uses KittyZen, let me know. Because that might be a platform where I might put every child shoe I have, every small size, I might throw it on there and see if it sells. I might just do an experiment like that just to see. Greetings and gratitude for your wealth of knowledge. Do you have a return policy? Pros, cons? Yeah, so my return policy is 30 days, and the buyer pays for return shipping. That works best for me only because, like, some people do free returns, and I'm cool with that. I was even considering doing that as well, but I'm only selling shoes, majority shoes. And if the item does, and sometimes the item just doesn't fit. So for me, I don't want to always have to eat that cost. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. This battery is dead. We went way over an hour today. Your boy got to switch the battery out. Let's see. Are we live again? Let's see. Give me 2 minutes, y'all. Stay with your boy. All right, so we back, right? So like I said, my return policy in terms of everything, I've considered the free returns, but since a lot of my items I do free shipping, I don't want to do free returns as well, because if the item doesn't fit, I don't want to have to constantly pay that fee. And I don't get a ton of returns, right? I got like a 2% return rate, which is maybe high to some people, but for me, I think it's decent. I'll get maybe 2 or 3 returns a month, but I don't want to always have to pay that return shipping because it will definitely eat the profits. So that's why I don't do free returns as well. But I think a return policy is important. I think it's good to kind of instill I think it's important to instill some buyer's confidence, because for somebody that isn't offering free shipping, or not, somebody that doesn't offer returns, and somebody that does offer returns, that buyer will just go to more with the person that does offer returns, just in case it doesn't fit, just in case they change their mind. People just want that, that confidence. So that's what works best for me. There is some cons, of course, when you accept returns, because by accepting returns, now you're giving that person the option to return for no real reason, right? But what I've learned just from my experience, if a buyer isn't happy, they can return it anyway. If they're not happy, they can find a way. There's so much scammers and so much like loops. And I remember, thankfully now, since we're on managed payments, it's not going to be as prevalent. But before, people would open a PayPal case if eBay sided with you. So then they'll try to go through eBay. Then they'll try to go through PayPal. Then they might try to go through their bank. So it's so many different ways people can try to finesse the system. But I just try to do the returns just for, give the buyer some peace of mind. Let's see. Oh, we got a $20 super chat. People are showing love today. I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Woo. Reselling has allowed me to spend all day, every day with my son. I just started a YouTube channel to help people like you, and Hustler Hacks help me. There is enough to go around for all of us to live a great life. Cheers. Cheers to you as well. Thank you very much. And that's beautiful. Like, to me, that's success, right? This is what I was talking about a little earlier when I was saying why I don't like going too much into hard figures is because somebody that watches my channel, they might say, oh, he's full-time, he's killing it. Or they might say he's not doing enough, he's barely making any money. So I don't try to go in too hard into figures, but I know for a fact there's some people that if you start talking too much about money, they start doubting themselves. They start, just being negative, right? Because they feel like they're not doing enough. But to me, that is success. If you're able to live a life by your own terms and be happy in it, that's success. Like, there's no figure, like there's no monetary figure that equates to success. Once I make $100,000, now I'm happy. That's not reality. That is the perfect example of why people decide to resell, why people become entrepreneurs. I was even watching this one little clip. Dave Chappelle, he was saying when he was growing up, his dad was doubting him about doing comedy, right? So his dad was saying, you want to make sure you have a plan B. You want to make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And he told his dad, and he basically told his dad, if his dad was saying he made $40,000 a year, Dave Chappelle was saying, okay, if I make $40,000 a year as a comedian, that's success. I'm good with that because I'm not a teacher and I'm making money doing what I'm doing. And I think that's beautiful. I think that message needs to get put out online more often than not. People need to stop comparing themselves, because I used to do that a lot. I don't do that no more. There's people that's going to be doing way better than me. There's people that's not quite on my level yet. And I say yet because it's only a matter of time. And that's just all it is. Like, you just got to, mind your business, do your thing, stay focused. And that's the perfect example. So like I said, I appreciate that $20 super chat. Much love. Much love. Let's see. What's the next category you will be selling? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I was thinking of, at one point I was even thinking of car parts, because car parts, when a certain car part, certain car parts have a huge value, right? And I went sourcing with this one dude, Kevin. He came out to Arizona, we linked up, and he showed me the game. He showed me the inner workings of it. And I was interested, but it was just, I'm not going to say it's laborious, but you got to know what you're doing, one. And in Arizona, it's so damn hot that I'm not going to be outside wearing sweating crazy. So that's why I wasn't necessarily interested in it. I think my next category might just be something with higher margins, something that I can do exclusively. You know what I mean? Like, if I can work out some type of deal with a distributor where I'm the only person selling whatever item, I'll probably go into something like that. And that's what I'm really considering doing. I'm really thinking of, even if the margins are small, I'm thinking of something like that. Even if I'm selling, camera batteries, and people love these camera batteries and it sells 15 times a day. I'm trying to think of something like this. So that's probably going to be the next category, just something that I can take, full advantage of. USPS, the same thing happened in the early 90s. They're making the old heads retire early to save money. USPS is protected by the government for sure. Yeah, that's one thing. USPS isn't going anywhere. That's that they're not going anywhere. I don't know what the plan is. I can't even say they're trying to make the old heads retire. I don't know what the plan is. I just feel like every few years, in any industry, you're going to have union disputes. You're going to have people on strike. You're going to have people unhappy. I just think it's an unhappy time. and they're using their leverage because they know by the time holiday season comes around, that's when shipping is going to be at an all-time high. So I think they're probably just using their leverage the best they can. Hopefully they all get squared away and they can get taken care of, because we all need them. Whether you sell on eBay, Poshmark, any Shopify, Amazon, we all need the post office. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping it all works out. Let's see. Teacher Jen, how do the super checks work? The super chats, well, the super chat is basically people would send. I don't even remember how to send super chats, because the screen I'm looking at is not the YouTube screen, but I believe you can just send it, and of course YouTube takes a cut. I think they take a significant cut of it, and people usually use it to just show love and show some support. And like I said, I always appreciate it, because I'm doing it for the love, and I just think it's dope when people send a super chat. It's love. Let's see. Fire flood items. Do you cop and post, or cop and just wait till lowball is sell off then post? So yeah, I'll usually cop it, then I would list it. It's not like I would wait to list it. I just leave my price the way it is, and I just wait until the flood is over. I've done this at least 50 times. The first thing that comes to mind is when I was selling some Ultra Boost, and it was the Ultra Boost in that Parley colorway, and it was super flooded. They were only $50, or maybe there was $40 in Ross, and I was seeing them in every single Ross, and they were well over like 600 listings on eBay at one point. So every time I went to Ross, I would always see them. So I just kept buying them. And then when pandemic first came around in March, people was gyms were closing, and people, I guess, just needed running shoes. I had 15 pairs in total. All 15 pairs, I was sitting on 15 pairs, listed items for like a month and a half. Not one sold. From March to April, maybe April 15th, right around when people got stimulus checks, sold out. 15 pairs within 45 days. So for me, I'm just a firm believer, and sometimes you just got to wait. If it's a good shoe, you got to just bet on the shoe. Knowing that, especially since I don't sell hyped items, there's no huge dip on the items that I'm selling. So I just believe in doing business like that. Let's see. Do you think Nike and Adidas, etc., spread their products evenly across the country, or do you think some products go to more popular cities? That's a good question. I have no clue. I don't know if Ross, I feel like if anything, places like Ross and Burlington, they might have better cities or better locations. Like when I was in California, that part of California, the Ross was terrible. Now I'm in Arizona, the Ross is great. But, it's just weird, because even like Hustler Hacks, he's in Texas, and his Ross is probably the best in the country, right? So I feel like every store, they probably do have their favorites. They probably do have, people that get first dibs on certain items. And I think that happens no matter what. No matter what industry you're dealing with, people are going to get first dibs just off of relationships. But yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I don't know if as a whole, if Nike does it, but that's a good question. I don't know. Is a thermal printer a must starting out, and they're kind of pricey? Yeah, they definitely are kind of pricey, and they've even gone up in price significantly. The Dymo 4XL at one point was $200 brand new. Now it's like close to 300. So definitely not a necessity. It's a luxury to have a thermal printer, because it prints out a lot faster. It's already like a adhesive label, so you don't need to tape it. You just slap it on. When I first started selling, I had like a regular Canon inkjet printer, and I found myself wasting a lot of money on ink. Like I would print a lot of stuff, and I would waste a lot of money on ink, and I had to tape all four corners, so that would take some more time. So the shipping process just took way more time than it does now. So it's just one of those things where, you might want to invest in it as your business is growing. If you have a printer now, cool. But having a thermal printer, if you can find some, I know like Epson has cheaper ones. I know Brother has cheaper ones. I know Rollo is a cheaper one. So those are some options, like some brands that have cheaper thermal printers, but definitely not an essential. It's a luxury to have something like that for sure. Let's see. Do you see an item you have listed starts to get flooded? Do you keep the price you have, or do you lower it to compete? It depends, right? Everything has its gray area. Sometimes I might lower it a little bit. Like if I had, say, a good example is those golf shoes, those fast fit golf shoes. Everybody had those at one point. That was a flooded market because it was $24 for the shoe, $25 for the shoes, but they were selling for like 100, 110, 120, 130. When people first were picking those up, they were selling them for like 150, 140. I've seen sales new without box 150, 140. So we all knew where they were getting it from, right? Then the market started to plummet. So when I initially had mine listed, I had it listed for like 120, 130. Then I lowered it down to about 120. No, I lowered it down to 110 because people were selling their stuff for like $60, $50, barely making any profit at all. So I didn't want to play myself and price myself out of the market because they were no longer selling for 150. The odds of me getting that was close to none. But I did see the top of the market in the last 30 days was 110. So I just priced mine to the top of the market at that point. I'm pretty sure there's probably some people even more patient than I am, and they probably waited a little longer and they have their stuff for 120, 130, 140. So it all depends on, your I guess your stamina, if you have the ability to wait a little longer than others. Let's see. I looked into Kitty's Inn, but only a few kids items. Yeah, Kitty's Inn, I mean, same thing. I don't have a ton of kids clothes, so but I might try it out. I might give it a shot. Let's see. Is it important to list the items you buy on the same day, or should you spread them out throughout the week? Spread them out throughout the week. Just put some activity in your store, spread it out throughout the week. That way you constantly show some activity in your store. Let's see. Plus, your profit margin should absorb at least one return once without being negative on your profit. Yeah, that's super important too. That's another reason why I'm not necessarily doing too much. Well, this is funny because I just bought some cheap cleats, but I'm trying to stay away from some of those cheaper cleats only because the margins are kind of slim, right? I might make $7-8 on some cleats, so it's not a ton of profit. And I'm one that's gonna sell. I'll happily make $2 on an item. I'm one of those people. I'll happily make $2 on an item. But I'm just trying to, constantly fine tune the business model. I'm literally thinking of how much space these baseball cleats are taking up. And if I was to get better shoes, I would be better with space. And even though I have space, I'm still, having that mindset of if I didn't have space, would I still pick this up? So I'm still considering a lot of different things. But definitely, it's just one of those things. As the business grows, you're always gonna, think of other things. Gloria Evans, son, you preach. I ain't a preacher, but sometimes the spirit will move me. You already know. Let's see. Thanks for the advice on the Nike Air 200s. My main category is digital film cameras and just getting into shoes now. That's a really good category. As I was saying earlier, I would definitely like if I can start selling batteries or like camera equipment or audio equipment. Like people spend good money on these things. They're willing to spend money on it. So if I can get my hands on stuff like that, I'll definitely make that like a focal point of my store. The funny thing is if once I actually get that down packed, it'll definitely take me to another level. But it'll just take time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to do the research and probably take some days off and not source as much. But I'm gonna make it happen because I feel like the best way of making your business more profitable and more enjoyable is to get items that come to you and just making systems so that I don't have to leave the house every day. I leave the house every day because I want to. I source every day because I enjoy it. But the real beauty of business, it will be just making money without having to do, too much work. You know what I mean? There's gonna come a point where I'll get to that point, but as of now, I'm just enjoying the work. Let's see. I use a Zebra LP 2844 found on eBay for $40. It's ugly, but does the job. Hell yeah, there you go. That's another brand that y'all should look for. Zebra LP 2844. That's a thermal printer. Can't go wrong with a thermal printer. As long as it's doing the job, it's not taking up too much space on your desk, you're good to go. Get the Brother one. It's cheaper. Yeah, Brother, Zebra, Rolo. Got options. Is Marshall's the best store to buy many of the same item? I find myself buying lots of one-of-ones at Ross in Burlington. Yeah, that's a good point, because when I go to Marshall's, I usually do find a lot more shoes in different sizes, right? I would go to Marsh, and the good thing is in Marshall's, they're all in the box. The difference is I only can, I really only buy a bunch of shoes from Marshalls when they're on clearance. And the Marshalls in my area, they have clearance sales pretty often. I think it's in an area where there's not a ton of people, so it's kind of tricky. But you know what I mean? It's like I try to go a couple times a week just in case, and just in case I could come across something good. Let me text my wife back, let her know I'm on live. But yeah, Marshalls is definitely like in Ross. I do come across a lot of one of ones, but even with the one of ones, to me the profit is still there, so that's why I still like it. Let's see. How do you look up comps on shoes with no box? The size tag. Look at the size tag. You will see the style code, and that's how I check the comps. Women's shoes and clothes and handmade items sell well for me on Kitty's End, under Mama category, and on Facebook Marketplace through free option to cross post. Good tips right there. Good tips. Let's see. Copped mine on Amazon for about 100. No issues here. Don't have to get the Dymo 4XL. Just make sure it can print 4x6 and get the best deal you can. Absolutely, that's great advice. I know I talk about the Dymo because I did a review on the Dymo, and I did the review on the Dymo because when I was looking to purchase the Dymo, I seen a lot of like sponsored videos. I was seeing so much people. I said, yeah, Dymo sent this to me, so I'm gonna do a review. And to me, that's not like the most trustworthy review. So I just wanted to do a non-sponsored one, and I like the Dymo. But like I said, I tell people don't even use a thermal, use any printer. Just make sure that you're not wasting a lot of time in the post office, because that's just bad, like for business, especially once we get in the fourth quarter and the post office is going to be huge, like around the block. You don't want to waste your time doing that. That'll be terrible. That'll be a lot of time wasted. So we've been on here for about an hour and 40 minutes. We got 112 people in the chat. Just hit the like button for me, y'all. I'll definitely appreciate it. I'm gonna stick around for maybe a couple more minutes, see if you got any other questions. But this was definitely a really dope live chat. We got a lot of super chats, so I appreciate every single person. This was crazy. Y'all definitely made my night. So like I said, thanks again for y'all support. If you guys want to cop a consistency shirt, it's the first link in the description. The white shirts with the black letters is coming soon. I'm about to make an order on those really soon, just so I can, switch it up, because I'm wearing the same, 2-3 shirts all the time. Yeah, I'm trying to switch it up too. So I know it's hot right now. So some people were saying they wanted white shirts. So I listen to everybody that, drops comments. You wanted white, I'll provide the white. So like I said, thanks again for the support. I definitely appreciate it. If y'all guys got questions, drop that in the comment section. I'm going to answer that as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.